Okay, so let's set the stage here a little bit. This is fairly early in the game for me still. It's a little bit into chapter 2, and I decide to just start wandering around and seeing where I can go in the map and seeing if there's any limitations placed on me. So I drift all the way east, and I start going into this swampy area. Then all of a sudden, I start hearing this guy cry for some help. So when I heard this guy scream for help, I of course run up to him, and I notice his arm is all bleeding, and he tells me he needs to go to a doctor. So I say, of course, I'll take you to the doctor, but this whole area is new to me, so I have no idea where to go or how far I have to go. And I'm not thinking straight, so I panic. I pick the dude up, and I was like, I'm just gonna follow this yellow line on my mini-map all the way to where it leads me, and I'm gonna run it. I don't have time to call my horse and go on his. I'm just gonna run it. And I did. I started to run, and then just after a little bit, I realized this is crazy. You can't run all the way on foot. So I call for my horse, who really takes his time to get to me, and then I sling the guy on the horse and start heading towards my destination.
I'll get you help. Just stay alive.
Okay.
So I take a quick look at my map, and you could truly see that where I am going is truly undocumented territory. I have not been here yet, so it's going to be completely new. I don't know where I'm headed. All I know is that I have to follow this yellow path and take it all the way to wherever it leads me. So I do. I go all the way there, pushing my horse as hard as I can, all the while the dude is complaining about being in pain and going in and out of consciousness. And so I finally get him towards this area, and it's the first time that I've ever seen any semblance of a big city in this game. So that in itself is quite disorienting. And like you'll see here, I reached the destination, and I'm not even sure. All I notice is that the yellow line has disappeared, and all that's left is a medical bag, which I discovered what it is later. And so you see me here, and due to my indecisiveness, the people around me start getting mad. And if you look closely at the mini-map, some guy gets so mad that he turns red on me. But luckily, I guess, when I actually grab the guy off my horse, the guy that threatens me mellows out and leaves me alone and lets me save this guy.
Disgraceful.
So finally, I get the guy into the doctor's office, and the doctor tells me, hey, hurry up and put this dude on the chair, which I do. And the doctor walks me through what's going on. He says that he's lucky that I found him when I did, and he talks about his payment and such. And then he says that he's gonna have to chop the guy's arm off. And for me, I'm thinking, okay, I'm guessing that they'll probably fade to black, or the doctor will physically shove me out of the office before he does so. But I decide, to see how it plays out and see what will actually happen. And I was really surprised that the game let me stay in the office for the whole time. And when the doctor says, hey, you might not want to see this, me in real life is thinking, yeah, I don't really want to see this either, because I don't know how gruesome it's going to get. But the curiosity of it overcomes me, because I wonder what the game is going to show, and I wonder how in-depth the game creators are going to go. And apparently, as you'll see at the end of this, they go all the way. They shoot the guy up with drugs to knock him out. The doctor proceeds to hack the guy's arm off, and then he very calmly bandages it up, cleans himself off a bit, probably with a cowboy wet nap, and then nonchalantly grabbing the severed limb and then tossing it in the trash like a chicken bone or a wadded up piece of paper or something.
Well, you're in a bad way.
And then, you know,
But you'll
at this point,
pull through.
it does feel like the end of the sequence. So I decide to leave and go about the rest of the game. So now a great deal of time has passed, both in the real world and the game world. And I'm now in chapter 4 of the game. And what I was doing was heading towards the little circular white mission that you could see on the mini-map. And I was heading towards there. And then all of a sudden, off to the side on my left, I see this little gray blip. And to anybody who's played the game knows that when you see the little gray blip, it means like some random thing is happening and maybe you should go check it out. Which I do, because you never know what's going to happen. And so I go see this gray blip, and it's a guy getting ready to be hanged. And I see him from afar. I can't really make out his features. All I can tell is that it's a man, and he's going to be soon put to death. And so I watch the execution, and he gets hanged. And then afterwards, I go to see, what kind of mischief I could get into or see how people react. And then Arthur mentions that he actually helped this guy get to the doctors. I was thinking, there's only one guy I ever helped get to the doctors. And so I took a closer look. I go up these stairs, and I wanted to take a closer look at what he looks like. And it's the guy that lost his arm. And I'm like, I can't believe it. The guy that I helped is now dead. Now I'm going to play back the sequence again, and I want you to pay attention to the dialogue that the characters are saying, because I did not pick up on it the first time through. It wasn't until later, when I rewatched the video, where I noticed all the little details that I missed. And they're important details. So some of the important details is that the sheriff, as he talks to the crowd, mentions that the guy that's going to be hanged is going to be hanged because he shot his wife because she made fun of him for no longer having 2 arms.
When a beautiful young lady ridiculed your disfigurement, you murdered her in cold blood for your awful vanity and pride. Any last words before the noose?
That ugly bitch deserved what she got.
And if you keep listening, which I totally miss, and is even very easily missable when you pay attention, is that the one-armed man actually acknowledges me in the crowd and begs for me to help him one last time, which I did not pick up at all in my original playthrough. It's not until the playback of the video.
Jesus, sir.
Hey, so you're ironic, huh?
Help me out again, would you?
And upon hearing this, I wondered, I wonder what would happen if I would have shot him down. But unfortunately, I will not get that opportunity unless I, play the whole game again, or I get another similar opportunity in the game. But so that's pretty crazy, because I actually made the situation worse by saving the guy. Because if I just would have let him die, then, everything would have been pretty much fine. But because I saved him, not only did he lose his arm, but then he lost his cool when he talked to his wife and she made fun of him for no longer having 2 arms. So this is one of those weird situations where it's like, I wonder what could have happened if I would have chosen differently. Or maybe he still would have gotten hanged. Maybe he still would have gotten mad at his wife for something, and this all would have still played out the same, just with little different details about it. So there you go. This is what happened when I saved some random guy from a swamp. Thanks for watching.